The tidradio wireless programmer. We did a previous video on this where we took a look at how well it worked or didn't work, but I want to take a look at what is inside. A little hole on the back here. This is what they call a K connector or a Kenwood connector, and it wiggles about a bit. I don't know if that's just because or if there's something going on there. So I was just curious. I wanted to see what was inside of it. Let's see if we can get this thing to come open. Let's see what's inside. All right, so we've got a little battery there. I totally expected that. Let's turn it off again. There's the on-off switch itself. We've got a USB-C connector. That's why the audio cable was easy to move. It's just kind of hanging there. That looks like an off-the-shelf Bluetooth module, BT422. Let's take a look and see what that is in a second. I want to get this battery off here. LT BT422X V32. LT-BT422X. And those all come back in Chinese. All right, so nothing for the board itself. LT-BT422X. The audio leads don't even have their insulation on them. TX, RX, and ground, that makes sense. All right, so I took a look around online trying to find some of these different modules, and there's not a whole lot of information out there in English, but that's okay. We can already tell that this here is our Bluetooth module. It is marked BT422. And we can take a look for the right connection here. That would go like that. And so that makes this our LED light chip, which probably makes this our Bluetooth antenna chip. And then we have our regular serial connections here, RX, TX, and ground. And then a USB-C connection, and then a power on-off. See, there's our LED light. Power on-off switch there. What I found interesting about this is that when you pair it with your phone, it does not give you any type of usable connection there, and it says that you must have an application in order to use it. And then when you pair it with a computer, it was very difficult to get it to pair with a couple of different computers that I have here. I was finally able to get it to pair with a Raspberry Pi. And when it paired with the Raspberry Pi, it said this thing exports no usable services. So I was hoping to find like a serial port or something in there. And then this little hole in the back of the case doesn't really line up with anything. So all in all, an interesting little device, but it seems like they went through a lot of trouble to make it harder to use than it should have been. If this was just a regular Bluetooth serial port, it would have been really useful. I could have pulled up Chirp and used Chirp to program with it, but I can understand why they wouldn't want you to use that, because they want you to get into their social network somehow. So that's the inside of it. We found the Bluetooth module, the little battery that's there, the USB connector, the on-off switch, the Kenwood connector. Most of this stuff is off-the-shelf type of devices, and you can find these types of devices to convert your old-fashioned MP3 player into a Bluetooth transmitter to transmit to your Bluetooth speakers if it doesn't have Bluetooth in or anything along those lines. So that would be this connector here. Unfortunately, the 2.5 millimeter is the headphone connector, and then this one here is the microphone connector. I don't know why they did that with this connector setup in radio, but they did. Hopefully I satisfied some curiosity that's out there. Check out my other video over here on programming with this device, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I'm looking forward to having some software updates come through to make the software easier to use. Thanks for being awesome.